If you're looking to start farming neighborhoods, portfolio reviews is the best way to do that. Right now, we have the portfolio review cover sheet that we use as a free downloadable template available for free on our website at realestatable.com/portfolio cover.
But that would be the super secret tip. And really for Easter egg hunts, you could even consider that too. Once you're in that season, go ahead and book it. It doesn't matter. It does not have to be the morning of Halloween kind of scenario.
Hey guys, welcome to Realestatable, your go-to podcast for raw, real, and relevant information in the real estate world. Today we are continuing our episodes on building client relationships, and we're going to be talking about community events.
Yes, super excited. This is different than last episode where we dove so deep into client appreciation. This is really just loving on your community, opening up events that you are putting together with local businesses for the most part, and inviting the community to come out and enjoy what you guys have to offer.
Yeah, so check out this episode and learn how to run a successful community event.
All right, so let's get to it. Let's start the conversation about community events, inviting your community to come to be loved on, and all that entails with something that could seem super overwhelming. But we're going to break it down step by step, talk about preparing, how to plan, what to do, and then how to actually successfully implement the event at the time of the event.
So community events are one of my favorite things. I think I like them more than client appreciation because you get to meet new people. So you're reaching out and getting out in your community. You're hanging out at a local park or a local venue, and it's just the meeting of the new people. I think it's exciting.
Yeah. And I also think that, depending on your why, but for us, a big part of our why is being able to give back. And I think this is a great opportunity to be connecting with local businesses, to be connecting with people that may or may not actually have an influence on your business, but just really the outpour definitely is a part of the reason that we're in business, is to be able to bless other people without expecting anything in return. Or even having the opportunity to have anything in return. So I think that is when you're thinking about, okay, what should I be doing and where should I be budgeting not only money but time, be considering, your why as one of the big reasons to be considering community events.
So this can be hosted by anybody. So you can do it on your own. You can work with, a partner or a couple people. We work with pretty much our whole office. So that's one thing I really love about our office is we love to collaborate. We're always willing to help each other. But the events is what's really great because as a busy agent, you can kind of split up the work, split up the task, the cost, and all of that where it's not as heavy of a load on you when you're busy.
Yeah, and even if you're in a smaller brokerage or, you may not be in an office that has such a collaborative spirit, don't be afraid to be doing this on your own either. Partnering with sponsors that's kind of how you can rally that support, partnering with local businesses. So don't be afraid if that doesn't describe your office environment, don't be afraid to jump into this concept either. So we definitely are super blessed by the work environment that we're in. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we're kind of talking about the different ways that we've done this in the past. But just don't let that scare you away if that is not what describes the office that you go to every day.
So we preach this all the time, getting sponsors for your event. I feel like should we break down the Easter event that we do? Because I think if we start with that, doing kind of like a start to finish, just to explain, I think we can go into more detail that way.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so every year we host a huge Easter egg hunt. So it's our office who participates, which splits the cost, the work, and the prep. Everybody who signs up to participate comes to that event. So it's not like I'm inviting my past clients, but I'm not going to show up kind of thing. It is all hands on deck. We're all participating if you sign up. What I loved about this event is that you could buy in. So I think what we gave like 20 or $50 each for candy to stuff the eggs. So it was a smaller amount where we just paid and said, "Hey, this is our donation to candy." Somebody from the office went and bought all of the candy. Um, and that was kind of our contribution to that. In addition to us buying the candy, we also had local businesses sponsor eggs pre-filled. They filled them. They either bought them filled, and they could put swag in there. They could put a sticker on it. So it's getting their name out as well.
Yeah, that kind of amplified the amount of eggs that it takes to really put this on. Like, we're talking thousands of eggs, especially when you are opening this up to the community. It's so hard to know and preparing how many people will show up. Highly encourage pre-registration using an Eventbrite link, some type of Google sign up to lead capture their information, but using a QR code and a linkable RSVP type of method is a really, really great way for you to kind of pre-plan ahead of time. Another idea when we were first getting this event started was to stuff with non-perishable stuff. So instead of candy, doing like little trinkets and toys. That way, if you did not have as big of a turnout as expected, you can take those eggs, store them away for next year, and no big deal. But over planning probably better than the kids showing up to not enough eggs at an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah. The other thing too is probably don't buy chocolate. I
Yeah.
know down here it's hit or miss. It's either sometimes it's cold on Easter and sometimes it's hot. We just don't know. But to not have melted chocolate,
Yeah,
don't buy
I
it.
agree. So talking about this, the low cost, putting out social media marketing ahead of time. If you wanted to do some type of paper event invitation, you could totally do that for your clients to be mailed out. These could be part of a pop by. We've done that before. We've done an Easter pop by and included the invitation with that. So there's so many different ways that you can get the word out. We also have really great connections with one of the local radio host and being able to promote community events. Usually they're all about that. This year, that radio host actually DJ'd the event. And I thought that was a great addition to have him there, have him announcing, having him count down for the kids, hyping up with the music. That was really a great addition, I feel like, over years past that we've done that as well. With that, we had a sponsor, a DJ sponsor, for the low cost that he charged us for that.
Yeah. I like I said, I like this event. We basically reserve a park, and then you set up your boundaries. And we did two different times. So two different times in two different sections. So we have like a littler kid section. It is just like a grassy field. So we're not like going into a forest or anything. They're just finding eggs on the ground. So there's a separate section for the littles, and then there's a huge section for any of the older kids where they
Yeah, I
can
think we
just
do like
run crazy.
three and under, but really at parents' discretion. But they're running so crazy that those little kids are taking more time to pick up eggs. But I think every time we've had this, these kids have walked away with like an overflowing basket of like way more than they need to. Super excited, super pumped for that too. But the two sections, I think that's what's drawing some people here, where we have a toddler area where, as having a 2 or 3 year old, you're probably not going to go to a public event to have your kids,
Trampled.
trampled. Probably 0 out of 10 recommend on that one.
Yeah. So, but just before the event, this one's just minimal setup. You want to make sure you have signs leading into the park entrance where your Easter egg hunt's going to be. The park that we host this at is a bigger park. It's got different fields, it's got ponds, it's got a playground. So we want to make sure that we are putting signs to where people know where to park and where the event's going to be. Like she said, we had the DJ. We usually have like a snack table set up with some like little waters, Capri Suns, granola bars, things like that, where people can kind of just grab a quick snack maybe before they hunt or before they go home. Um, and from there, it's just talking with people. And I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's not necessarily people I've worked with or people that our team has worked with that I've seen before. It's just new people. And it's, hey, what brought you here? How did you hear about us? And then that's kind of where you can start getting the ball rolling on your marketing. Okay, they found us on this Facebook group. They got a postcard. It was an ad. And then you can kind of track where those people are coming from. And again, like she said, with the QR code, you have it's a lead capture. So now you have their information because they registered.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think that the follow-up for this is just as important, like we talked about with client appreciation, how many touches are happening. Well, a lot of this leading up to it is not, you're not reminding, you're not texting, you're none of that stuff. It's just about exposure, getting people to register. But your follow-up for this, you can have a 3 to 4 touch system on how you're following up, whether it's an email, with a video that you're sending out, thanking them for coming, a text video. You can also text them that video. You can even expand that and do a pop by immediately right off the bat. Do some type of small spring pop by for them. So think about, okay, great. That energy is high. They're leaving that event in a very high energy, being loved on for that time that they're with you. What are you doing to immediately capture their attention into that marketing relationship that you're going to have with them? So be thinking about that, pre-planning that as part of the big picture as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So when you're talking sponsors too, so we're gonna give you some other ideas about different events. But when you're talking about sponsors, this can be something super simple where you have several businesses giving lower amounts, or one business that's just your main feature that is giving the entire budget that you're needing for the event. So look at your budget. Figure out how many agents are contributing. We've even had where, we say, hey, it's a $50 buy-in for our office. We've had agents who are like, great, my preferred lender is going to pay that, where other agents are like, well, I'm just paying that. So think about that when you're talking about the buy-in, the individual buy-in. Get those agents that are partnering with you to figure out how to fill their sponsorship or fill that role of the monetary division of what the event cost as well.
The other thing I like too is we did kind of like a stuffing party
Mm-hmm.
where you would go down in the basement of our office and you would have to stuff like one box of eggs. And that was all you had to do. So it's not as daunting as stuffing thousands and thousands of eggs. It's, hey, you have this box of 100, fill those eggs up, and that's your contribution.
When she says we have a basement in our office, that sounds pretty creepy
It's like
and daunting.
it's our training room. It's
There's a
nice.
huge training room in the basement of our office. So it's like a big
It's not
open
a
conference room.
Yeah, it's not a dungeon.
You get sent to the basement to stuff eggs. No big deal. We have great culture in our office. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. No, but definitely having the legwork of this be part of the participation, like a requirement. Hey, if you're signing up for this, you're going to help with the marketing of it. You're going to help with the prep and preparing. You're going to help with the setup, the breakdown, all of those things. And then the division of those leads come from the commitment to that participation as well. So when you talk about location, we talked several times in our client appreciation episode previously. We talked about our restrictions that we have here as a community, but we do have several city and county parks that we're able to reserve for something like this. So you're in a public setting where you're going to have a lot of people walking up to this event as well. Years past, prior to restricting the food trucks, we've had that option also added to the event as well, where people could grab an ice cream, a coffee, if you had taco truck, something like that to be added. So in the consideration, we've moved now to a actual snack table that they grabbed some swag items with their picking up of their snacks too.
Yeah. Do you want to take a quick break and then we can talk about our other favorite community event that we do?
Let's do it. Hey, Ashlee, what is the one thing that you're doing to uniquely farm neighborhoods this year?
I am doing what's called portfolio reviews, and it is a little CMA for homeowners that provides value without being salesy.
Yeah, and do you use this for your previous clients as well?
Absolutely. This is an easy tool, easy way to get in front of your clients. It's a touch, and it's giving them the value of their home. So if they're considering selling, you've just put the number on their porch.
And when you're doing this, you'll use something called a portfolio cover that we're providing to you for free on our website. This will have all the information that you kind of compact into one cover sheet, but we're also throwing in a bonus for your client reviews where you can add in different reviews from your clients to add a nice little package portfolio review to be door dropping or mailing out while you're farming or following up with your past clients.
Yeah, so head to realestatable.com/portfolio cover and you can get your free download.
All right, let's jump right back in. We're going to give you a ton of ideas on different ways that you can implement community events into your marketing plan. We talked in depth about our Easter egg hunt, which is one of our favorites. But let's talk through some other ideas. We have implemented some of these, but also some of these are in our pipeline to consider rolling out in the years to come.
So our next event that we do in the year is our trunk or treat.
Second favorite.
It's only second favorite because this one is so hit or miss. It's either 1,000,000,000 degrees and you're sweating in a costume, or it's freezing cold and you're freezing in the costume.
Or it's raining. That's the third option. So, but we have a blast.
Yeah, it is really
Sounds
fun.
miserable, but we have a blast. It's just such a well-received event. I feel like it's a well-received event, and the camaraderie for the people that we're doing this with, everyone just kind of has a unannounced contest on who can be the best trunk. We really should do a contest, actually.
That would, have the people vote.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel like our office does go all out with the costumes and the trunks. And every year we build on it.
Yeah, for sure. And so one of the cool things with this, there's not really a buy-in, because the buy-in is you got to show up and put the participation into your trunk, your costumes, the candy that you're handing out, et cetera. That's the unofficial buy-in. Our office provides invites, a certain amount of invites, paper ones that you can use for inviting your sphere of people. But there's a lot of social media invitations that are happening. The same thing with the local DJ that we talked about for Easter egg hunt, announcing and putting it out as many places as you can locally. I know our community does these a ton. Trunk or treats are like a thing in our area.
Everywhere.
So there's a lot of calendars of that. So our secret, here's your top secret tip for this is you want to get ahead of all of those people. If it's like our community, there is like 25 options for trunk or treats on the weekend of Halloween. So we are probably a little bit prematurely scheduled, but we're always the week before. Like this year, it's the Friday before Halloween, which I think puts us at like the 23rd or 24th. That seems super early, but I'll tell you, those kids are super psyched to be out there with their costumes. They're super psyched for like the first event of the season. And we've never had a low crowd by doing this. And I feel like it's given us the opportunity as moms to go participate in all the other craziness. But that would be the super secret tip. And really for Easter egg hunts, you could even consider that too. Once you're in that season, go ahead and book it. It doesn't matter. It does not have to be the morning of Halloween kind of scenario.
I agree with the date because I personally like getting the kids ready in their costumes like 2 days in a row is awful. But if you can do it the weekend before and then trick or treat on Halloween, it's so much easier.
It's a mom win. Like we feel like we just gave ourselves a trophy for thinking smart about this. But we always do it a Friday night. It's in our office parking lot. We're in a prime location, but I really feel like with marketing, even not a super, we're like in the commercial area of our town, even without a prime location, people know your office and will come really for free participation anywhere. But we do Friday nights 4 to 6, so it's daytime most of the event, but it turns to dark, and I feel like it's a perfect 2 hours. We have people lined up before because at first we're like 4 o'clock, that's too early. No, we are from 4 to 6, slammed with kids for those 2 hours. So do not be afraid to try earlier than later. We've had great success over the years with that.
Yeah. And I feel like every year it gets bigger. Like she said, we are in a prime location. So people sometimes stop not in costumes and still participate in the trunk or treat. Some key things to think about if you're trying to get your name out there is providing either reusable bags or plastic bags with your logo or branding on it. Especially for people who just come right off the street and they're like, "What are you guys doing? We saw a big crowd." That gets your name out there too.
Yeah. And we kind of situate ourselves as the first spot coming in too. So we do a lot of legwork with this, and we've built this over the years. And so being at that first spot too, having those bags to be able to hand out to the kids. You can do registration on site if you wanted to. For us, once you get to us, it's really not about the lead capture. It's truly on this event. We don't RSVP. We don't need to pre-plan. The candy that you don't use on the weekend before rolls over into your actual trick-or-treaters. It can roll over into your pop buys. So for us, this is truly just come and go. No attachment to anything following up on that. And probably mixed reviews on whether or not that's the right approach. But for us, this event is truly just for that.
The other thing too, we always talk about sponsors, right? So this event, like she said, is the buy-in, is the candy, setting up your trunk, costume, etc. But you can, to fill your parking lot, ask those people who consistently sponsor or people that you consistently work with and have them set up a trunk. We have local businesses that we work with regularly who are setting up the trunks and going all out too. It's kind of funny. You're like, oh, wow, that's my preferred lender. And he's like dressed up and it's awesome.
A Mario costume.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great. We've done a spin on this too, where they're buying in any of our preferred people that we work with. They have bought into $100 donation to a charity. We are real big about Sunshine Kids. PenFed Foundation is two foundations that we partner with quite often. And that has been one of the things. But honestly, you don't even have to do that. If you wanted to just give an opportunity for exposure, like, hey, you sponsor these things throughout the year, you don't even have to do that. I do think that if you are requiring a buy-in from preferred lenders, et cetera, you probably need it to go to a charity for something like this. And you can actually advertise that as well, that this event is supporting whoever it is that your money that you're collecting goes to. Another key thing, again, super blessed. We have a local DJ that he says he parties with a purpose. And so a DJ, I feel like the first year we didn't do this, energy, great. Okay, great, whatever. But adding the DJ to this event, and he has done this before, in support of the charities we're sponsoring. He's done this at a very, very low cost over the years as well. So DJ, pro tip, you got to have a DJ in your parking lot.
That really stepped it up for us because he just his commentary on different costumes that are walking by, playing the Halloween theme music, it made it so much more fun versus having somebody's playlist on like a portable speaker.
Yeah.
Game changer.
So the person that is the DJ is the game changer too. So another thing we've added to this event is food trucks. We've talked about this before. Cool thing with your parking lot, 0 restrictions. So if you're doing it in your office parking lot, bring whoever you want. We bring them there early. So that way, as we're setting up, we can get something to eat, grab a drink, whatever. So, and it kind of starts the buzz as people are driving by. If they're there an hour early, we have banners at the road, trunk or treat here tonight. That just adds a little bit to the atmosphere and the environment as well. Fills the parking lot, like Ashlee said.
Yeah. Okay. So you said community events in the pipeline. What you got?
Trunk or treat. No, I think that we have been looking and really evaluating a lot of our client appreciation events could easily be just redirected to become community events. We're doing literally in a couple days, we have a big end of summer swim splish splash. Come swim with us for the end of the summer, but back to school. And I was thinking about that. That's a community pool that we have a private 2 hours that easily could be opened up to the public as well. I think it depends on the actual venue, whether or not we've talked about last episode, we talked about cookies and cocoa, and that being a community event was a terrible idea because we had such a small location. Rewind, we could have made that still a community event with a larger venue. So when you're looking at these things and deciding, okay, really, let's fill our why. Why are we in business? What is the purpose? And is giving back to our community, number 1, 2, or 3, probably redirecting some of those client appreciation events would not be a bad idea to be opening it up. Now, with the community events, you're still inviting your clients. It's just an open invitation for the community as well.
Yeah.
So think about that. So the swim event, I think, would be an easy one for us. It's a huge pool. Several hundred people could be there. And then we've done the event at the local historic theater where we do a private movie showing, pictures with Santa, the train. that is going to be a max capacity. So you're going to have to kind of decide, okay, how are we making sure that those folks that this is opening up to actually have a seat capacity, and we close it off. So what other things have we done that we could consider actually opening up to the community?
So, side note, my next thought before I lose it. If you haven't listened to the episode with Q, his community events look different than ours. So he will buy pizzas at a pizza place like, hey, I'm buying the next 200 pizzas are on me. Come in and pick it up. So he's getting out in the community, supporting a local pizza shop, and talking with these people as they come to pick up their pizza. Another good option would be is if you're on social, go to a coffee shop and say, hey, for the next hour, for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be buying your coffee order. Um, and you're supporting the local coffee shop. It could be Starbucks, but try to do something smaller and local, because then again, you're reaching their social media and you're supporting this small coffee shop. So those are the two things that I think that I would like to try to just see how it goes because I've not done that yet. It sounds awesome. Q's crushing it. So
Yeah, I think that was another thought too. Is like with the local business, it could be a donut shop, like a free donut on me for the next 2 hours. And I think with that, that is just like a low key, easy, like you're coming to see me. Doesn't have to even be with your team, office partner. You can maybe have one of your vendor sponsor the cost of that and then be present with you. But again, it's really just a come and go. Like we're not sitting here going to sit down and give you a buyer's class when you come in to grab a donut. It is literally a come and take, and the continuing, the ability to continue to do those over time is going to be where your return is on that.
yeah.
What other things do we have? I feel like we covered a ton of things. I would love to hear from you guys if you have anything that you've done that's been super successful when we're talking community events. I know there's a ton of ideas, a ton of training out there when you talk about client appreciation, but really want you guys to think creatively on how you can start to pour back into your communities through these events. Zero cost out of pocket. That's totally possible. You guys are giving business to so many preferred vendors. Really be thinking about how you can make this happen without having to add to your budget to make it happen.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, that's everything for today. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, we have given you guys our top tips for community events. I am super pumped now for Trunk or Treat because that's the next one that we're going to be doing. What would you say your top takeaways are?
Well, I think we dissected Easter egg hunt and the trunk or treat, to a T. You guys, I think, have a complete success plan for those. Take those ideas and they can be translated to anything. They're literally seasons can theme you out. You could easily make some type of Christmas event that doesn't have to be in a theater like we're talking about. It could just be Santa pictures at a location that are completely free for anyone that's coming from the community. So take those concepts and you guys could just really, the moon is the limit on this as well. So I think takeaway on this is really creatively thinking about the client appreciation events that we're doing right now. Should we be shifting any of those into actual community events? That's definitely going to be in the cards for us for 2024. As we're moving into the fourth quarter, it starts planning season for us as a team. So that's my takeaway, is really just starting to think. And just because you've done it this way forever does not mean that you cannot shift the sales.
I think that my biggest takeaway is just doing like the coffee shop or the pizza thing, because it's no planning. You can show up the morning of and be like, hey, coffee's on me. It's not invites. It's a low cost. It could be the cost that you want it to be. So if you're like, hey, I only have $100 to spend, okay, you're at that coffee shop and you're paying for however many people it takes to be 100. So you can really tailor that to you and to your budget and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. So tons of great ideas. Love to hear from you guys. If there's something you've done that's worked, let us know. And if you guys actually implement some of these things, make sure you tag us. We would love to see how you're putting this stuff to action.
All right, guys, if you found this helpful, make sure you share it with a friend, give it a download and a 5-star review. You can find us everywhere on social, and we will see you next time on Realestatable.
Thanks for watching or listening to our show today.
Our show was brought to you and created by Realestatable.
And our executive producers are Ashlee Jankovic and Tiffany Klusacek.
Realestatable is produced by TSE Studios.
Check out show notes for audio credits or any of our music.
And we're your hosts,
Ashlee Jankovic and Tiffany Klusacek.
If you're looking to start farming neighborhoods, portfolio reviews is the best way to do that. Right now, we have the portfolio review cover sheet that we use as a free downloadable template available for free on our website at realestatable.com/portfolio cover.